Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another in-depth first-person walk-around video here on N&T Auto Reviews. My name is Tyler, behind the camera as always, and today we are taking a look at the all-new 2020 Audi Q5 Hybrid. So before we get started with the details on the vehicle, I'd like to go over the powertrains that Audi offers on the Q5 for 2020. Now this one, they call it the 55 TFSI-E, meaning this is the gas-electric hybrid. They also have the 45 TFSI, which is the gasoline only. So if you hear me referring to the 45, I'm referring to the gasoline. If you hear me referring to the 55, this is gasoline electric. I'm just going to use that to shorten up the video a little bit when comparing and contrasting features between the hybrid and the gasoline only Q5. But the way Audi sets up their window sticker is we have all of our standard equipment over here, which I will quickly zoom in, and you could pause the video so that you could read all of that information. We will be going over most of it during the video. We also have our warranty information as well as our options list. So I'll leave it right here and we'll read off the options for you. We have the Premium Plus package, which I kind of consider to be a package since it does, rather a trim level, since it does include lots of information, such as your LED headlights, panoramic sunroof. So it comes with a lot, and that's a $3,700 option. We also have the Cold Weather package, which includes all-weather floor mats, heated steering wheel, heated rear seats. We also have a destination charge of $995, and then if we go down, we can see the total sticker price for this particular vehicle standing at $58,395. Now, one thing I'd like to mention, because the government considers this an electric vehicle because you can drive up to 20 miles on electric power only, you actually get a federal tax credit of around $6,700. So you can either claim that at the end of the year or put that money down as a lease down payment if you consider leasing this car, which will substantially decrease the amount on your monthly payments. If we take a look below that information, we also have our parts content. So we have the parts. No, you can't really see the window sticker too well. It kind of actually got some snow last night, so I'll read it off for you. The U.S. Canadian parts content stands around 2%, parts from Mexico 46%, and parts from Germany 20%. The transmission is sourced from Germany. The engine and motor, so the gasoline and electric motor, from Hungary. We could also pan up to the shipping information. We also have the crash ratings. The government has not rated this car because the hybrid version has just come out, and then we also have some fuel economy information and range mileage over here as well, which we will get into a lot more in depth in the later portion of the video. And taking a walk around to the side of the Q5, you could really see these strong body lines coming from the beginning of the hood all the way back to the taillights. We can also see that the wheelbase is extended to 111 inches, and there are 11 total color options for both the Q5 and Q5 Hybrid. They do switch it up a little bit, switching out a couple colors between the hybrid and the gas-only model, but there are 11 total color options, and this one we're working with is the Ibis White. And walking around to the rear, the Q5 for 2020 is only available in that Quattro all-wheel drive. It is the Ultra system, and towing is right around 4,400 pounds when properly equipped. Okay, so we get started off the details of the exterior on the front here, specifically starting with the headlamps. Now on Premium Plus and up, you do get full LED headlamps, which means daytime running lights, turn signals, high and low beams, all LED. On the premium models, you will get HID headlight bulbs. You also do have headlight washers also. On the 55 models, you will get the S-line front and rear bumpers, which means it kind of blacks out the grille surround, gives you larger air intakes, and a different front and rear bumper. Almost reminiscent to the SQ5. We have the Audi rings up front as well as the Quattro badging, and you also have parking sensors that span the front bumper, and they're kind of hidden within these black elements here and here. Overall, a very aggressive front end for the Q5 hybrid. Now, taking a look up here at the hood, we have the clamshell style hood, which means it almost extends down to the wheel arches. Pretty neat feature. We have some bold lines that go on the sides of the hood as well. Looking at our wheels, they are specific to the 55 powertrain model, and they are 19-inch wheels. You have this sort of gray finish on the inside and the machine color on the outside. We have some pretty large brake calipers. Looks like a 4-piston setup with ventilated rotors. We also have Michelin tires that measure 235/55. Taking a look down the side, we have the satin chrome window surrounds and then the gloss black pillars. Our mirrors are pretty nice looking with the turn signals as well as the blind spot indicator. We have smart key entry on all 4 of the door handles, so it's unlocked at the moment. You just press the little square, it'll lock all 4 doors, and then you grab behind the handle to unlock. You will get a little bit different side sills on the Q5 Hybrid 2 with the S-line. Take a look at our rear wheels. We also have ventilated rotors back here as well. We have some nice roof rails. Again, that satin chrome color with the panoramic moonroof and shark fin antenna up top. Nice spoiler with some extensions over here in the gloss black. And funny thing, when these first came in, I thought, hey, we're getting another SQ5 because it has almost the same exact rear bumper as the SQ5 does. Again, part of that S-line package for the Q5 hybrid. Now the rear lights are also LED with the dynamic turn signals. Very nice looking. As far as badging back here, we have the Q5 insignia as well as the Quattro insignia. Right underneath the Audi rings, we also have the trunk release and rear view camera. And parking sensors to finish it all off. Okay, so checking out the interior, I first want to go over a couple of options that you can get. First of all, there are 4 different interior color options, ranging from a beige to a gray to a black, and then also this brown that we have, which is called nougat brown. You can also choose between 3 different wood finishes. This one we have is sort of a natural grain, darker wood finish. And you could also choose between 2 different seats, the comfort seats like we have here, or the sport seats that come along with the warm weather package, which gives you the ventilated seats. But looking at the specific car we have here, of course we have that wood grain, the metallic handle, lock unlock buttons, as well as 2-person memory for your driver's seat. We have our child locks for the rear doors, and you can lock them individually. Window controls and mirror controls as well, which are power folding and heated. We also have the base 10-speaker audio system, and of course you can upgrade to a Bang & Olufsen system. But this basic 10-speaker audio system does very well. I wouldn't even really call it basic. We also have a couple of buttons here. Now this one's pretty normal to us, but then we also have this one here, which is the fuel door release for the gas tank. We also have the trunk release and a small storage area here. Taking a look at the left of the dash, we have an air vent, some more wood trim, and your lighting controls. So you have the rear fog lights as well as your all-weather lights for the front. And we also have the gauge dimmer that pops out over here. We have a small storage tray which is felt lined. You could put whatever you need in there. You also have your hood release here and pedals over there. And you could also see the lever for your tilt telescoping steering wheel a little bit better from this angle. Very nice looking nougat brown leather seat. And your full power function with the 4-way lumbar. Okay, so here's the key fob that you get for the Q5 in 2020. Pretty traditional Audi key fob, very nice looking though, with the metallic buttons and some nice metallic and gloss black accents on the back. We have the unlock, lock, trunk release, and panic alarm. And you could also slide out this bottom portion here where the physical key is in case you need that. This car, of course, has the start button ignition, so just make sure your foot's on the brake. And you just press that right there. Okay, so we get started off the features of the driver's cockpit right here with what's right in front of us, the steering wheel. Now Audi has always done some very attractive looking steering wheels, and this is no exception. We have a heated steering wheel that's leather wrapped with stitching on the inside and bolsters right over here where you grip them. We also have our buttons to either side of the airbag cover. So over here we have all controls for the Audi's virtual cockpit. We also have over here some more controls for that virtual cockpit. Also your heated steering wheel controls, Bluetooth voice commands, our volume right here, and also our skipping for our tracks. Behind the steering wheel and mounted to the steering wheel, we have paddle shifters. These are plus and minus, either mounted to the steering wheel. And behind it, we have our turn signals, also our high beams. We also have our front and rear wipers on the right side, and over here is our cruise control. And of course, adaptive cruise control is available. This one is, however, not equipped with it. And now we can get into the virtual cockpit. So again, we can use these controls over here to mainly control it. Also this button here. However, this is sort of your main screen, I guess you could say. We have our electric power output over here with our what gear we're in. We also have our time, temperature. Over here is our speedometer. We also have our total power output over here in a different screen, date and time, and then also our engine temperature. Up here we have our different selections, so you could cycle between this whole center portion, going to our media, our phone, or our navigation. Then we also have this view button that will make the power output and speedometer larger, and then take away a little bit information on the center. So there are a few different modes that you could have over here. Now I'm going to press this button right here, which gives us to either additional display or the left dial. So we're going to press the left dial. So right now we have the combination view. So it's a larger percent output of the electric power. We can also have it just the power meter or just the tachometer. But for now we're going to leave it there. I just wanted to show you that you could have either option. Now on the left side we have our battery, how much mileage we have on our battery, and then we also have our fuel gauge over there. Now I'm going to put it back to the larger center, and I'm going to use this scroll wheel to show you that there is more information that's going to show up over here. This will show you what you're at with your gasoline mileage. So in the yellow is your gasoline, so we have 155 miles on gasoline only, and then we have 7 miles left on our electric mileage if you choose to use that. Now we can use these scrolls to change between our media screen, our phone screen, as well as our navigation screen. Now this is probably one of the best in the industry. We have Google Maps hooked up to this, so we actually have a satellite view, and if we use this wheel here, we could zoom in and out. Definitely very neat with the virtual cockpit. And again, if you'd like to make the map a little bit smaller and have your gauges bigger, you could definitely do that for any one of these screens. So just a quick overview of the Audi virtual cockpit. I'm sure you could find more videos that are devoted to the virtual cockpit that could show you everything about it, but I wanted to just give you a quick overview. Dashboard is a nice soft to the touch material. And taking a look down here, we have Audi's 8.3-inch MMI screen, which is controlled through this rotary dial here, so it is not touchscreen. Although some of the Audi models have been going touchscreen, the Q5 for 2020 is still controlled with the rotary dials. So we can press the main menu screen here, which we have all of the, I guess you could say, main menus. And we'll go quickly through each one of them, being our vehicle screen. We have all of our different driving modes, as you can see. And with the individual, you can customize. Going back to the main, we have our sound settings, our radio screen here. You can see that the Sirius XM is hooked up. We have all of our different sources. Our media, telephone screen, which isn't going to display a whole lot since I don't have my phone hooked up. We also have our navigation, so we can input our destination over here. You can also write down what you'd like to, where you'd like to go, so you can either spell the address out, like write the letter N here and it'll pick it up, or you could speak it into the voice commands. You can also see our map here as well with the Google Maps. We have our Audi Connect, our smartphone interface, which has to do with the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And we also have our basic settings. So that's pretty much a quick rundown of this screen. Again, I'm sure you could find a devoted video to Audi's MMI. However, I just wanted to give you guys a quick overview of the screen. Down below we have our hazards button. We also have 2 air vents. We have a nice panel of wood trim going along there that has the Quattro symbol over there. We also have all of our climate control in this setup here. So it is a 3-zone climate control, meaning the driver has their own temperature, the front passenger has their own temperature, and then the rear passengers have their own temperature. We have our heated seats over here. Now again, cooled seats come with the warm weather package, which you'll have the button right there for. We have our temperature over here, as well as our automatic function. Just press down on the knob. Our defrosters, our different zones. Our AC, fan speed, and to set our the rear climate control, as well as make it a 3-zone. Recycling off, and then our passenger heated seats. Now something that's pretty cool about these silver buttons is if you notice, you just rest your hand on there, it'll kind of pop up with different your options, and then when you actually click the button, it'll change them. Also, if you go to set the rear climate control, you can set the rear climate control. You can also activate the heated rear seats, which is pretty neat. Now taking a look down here, we have an array of buttons, which we have our Audi drive mode select. So if you didn't want to go through the screen to get that, you have the shortcuts here. Press any arrow and then you can select. We also have different modes for the powertrain. So you press this button here. We can choose between if you want the electric vehicle driving only, the hybrid use, as well as the battery hold. So it'll just utilize the gasoline engine and save however much energy you have in the batteries for a later time. We can also turn our parking sensors on and off, as well as turning our traction control off. We have a hill descent mode, and then turning the main screen off if you'd like. We have a small storage tray over here, which looks like you put change or whatnot. The start stop engine button. We have the USB connection, also a 12-volt power outlet. We have some wood trim coming around the MMI controller and shifter. We have the volume knob down here, which I have to say, once you get used to Audis with the volume knob up here, it becomes much more convenient, because you seem to rest your hand down on the shifter or somewhere in this place, and it's just a lot easier to just reach right here instead of all the way up here where they normally are. Have a storage pocket here, which has rubber at the bottom, which you could put your key there. And then we also have our MMI controllers, which I'll go over a little bit. You have some presets up top, and this is sort of like a touch-sensitive controller. So we have different options at the side. So if you see, turn the screen on and go into one of our apps here. If we go into the radio screen, you'll see that it has these 3 lines there, and whenever there's a line there, you can use a button on the side and it'll give you more options. Main menu screen as well as the back. We have the rotary dial, and you press down to select. Shortcuts over here for your navigation map, telephone, radio, and media. So you could switch it up and down like so. Over here we have our gear selector for the 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission, and this is a this remains the same 7-speed no matter if you get the 45 or 55 powertrain. So we have our drive, as well as a sport mode, which you could use the paddle shifters or shift it manually with the shift knob. Bumping it over, we have the neutral gear if you bump it up one bump, I guess you could say, and then you reverse, which pulls up the backup camera with the guidance line. So as you turn the steering wheel, the lines will turn to predict your path, and also your parking sensors pop up as well. Putting it into park is just as easy as pressing the P. You also have your electronic parking brake. Down here we have a wireless charging pad for your phone. And then if we slide that back, we have a couple of cup holders. Nice leatherette covered center storage, and if you lift that up, you see that we have a little bit of storage, and if you want even more, just slide this through, and it's pretty much an open area. So if you want a combination of cup holders and storage, you can slide this back, and you could definitely do that. We have a couple of connections in here too. We have the second USB and an auxiliary input there. Taking a look at the top, we have an auto dimming and frameless mirror, very nice looking. And we have a full black headliner. Taking a look at our center stack, we have some LED illumination, which is touch sensitive. We also have our garage door home links up here, some SOS controls, and some information as far as servicing goes. Also turn all of our lights on here, and we have our sunshade control and our sunroof control, which we have a full panoramic sunroof, which is optional on the base premium trim level and standard on premium plus and up for both the 45 and 55 models. And I'll show you the sunshade, since some people like to see if it blocks out 100% of the light. It is a fabric sunshade, and it will let just a little bit of light in, but since it is this nice fabric like this, you can actually leave the shade closed and the roof open if you don't want the sun beating on you, but you want that a little bit of extra wind in your hair. Also have our visors with a mirror and LED light. And the visors will fold to extend to cover the sunlight coming in over here. So that pretty much does it with an overview of the driver's cockpit. Next, I'm going to adjust the seat to a more normal driving position for my 5'10" self. I'm going to go in the back and check out how much room we have back there, as well as go over the amenities. Very solid sounding doors, just as in any Volkswagen Group product. As for the rear goes, we have the same very luxurious materials. So we have the soft touch all the way over here, the wood trim, the lock and unlock buttons, your window control, and the leatherette armrest. We have a storage pocket and a speaker on the door as well. So I'll hop in quick for you guys to see how much room we have back here. So again, I am 5'10", and I adjusted the driver's seat to a comfortable position for myself. And look at that, I have a couple of inches of legroom. I have plenty of headroom, as well as the width is plenty good. We do have a small drivetrain hump over here, so if you have center passengers, they're going to have to straddle that. However, we do have some air vents back here and plenty of amenities for the rear passengers, such as the heated seats, your own temperature control, and some charging outlets, of course USB, and then your 12-volt outlet. So it is quite a nice place to be back here, especially with the panoramic roof. If I put my head right up against the headrest back here, the panoramic roof goes back just as far as where my head is. We also have a coat hook and grab handle, as well as a touch sensitive LED light. And we also have the armrest that folds down, very soft, with a couple of cup holders that pop out. So again, very nice place to be in the back of the Q5 as well. Next, we'll check out what the glove box has to offer and the passenger side in the front. So the front passenger door is very much like the driver's, with the exception of a few less buttons. The passenger does have a full powered seat. And opening up our glove box, we have plenty of storage in there, as well as our CD player, also some SD cards and an SIM card inlet. We also have our owner's manuals and all the books that comes with the vehicle, and it's felt lined in here with a pen holder. It looks like some coin holders in there too. Now the Q5 does have a full power trunk lid, and I'm going to show you by double tapping the key fob. So very nice wide opening for the trunk lid. You can see that the car comes with a whole host of accessories, including your all-weather mats and the crossbars for the roof. We also have all of our charging cables and whatnot in there. We have some nets off to the side where you could put extra things. Again, that's for either side, and then you also have the 12-volt power outlet over here. You also have handles back here. Now, what do those do? They will fold down the rear seats. Now, you can fold them at a 40-20-40 split. However, naturally, they will fold at a 60-40. You also have these pretty neat light bars on either side, which are LED. We also have the tracks for the cargo cover if you decide to opt for that as well. We have illumination for the ground over here. We also have a couple of buttons to close the trunk and to close the trunk and lock the vehicle. So, opening up the fuel door, we have a 15.3 gallon fuel tank on the 55 models, and on the 45 models we have a little bit of a larger 18.5 gallon tank. Now this is the fuel door. This is where you put the fuel, not the charger. So we have a typical cap and tether system, and you can rest the cap right here to not scratch your paint. And Audi does recommend the premium fuel. Now if we take a walk around to the driver's side, we could pop this one open, and this is where you plug the car in if you choose to do so. You just pull this little rubber cover off, and you could plug in either a 110 or 220 volt charger. Okay, so to wrap up the video, I hope you have enjoyed the 2020 Audi Q5 just as much as I have. And I hope you stay with us for future in-depth reviews.